The United States of America has the strongest military in the world and spends more money on defense than the next 10 countries combined. In today's video, I will break down the United States Armed Forces global operations. For starters, the United States Armed Forces has 6 branches: the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and the newly established Space Force. Now, moving on to the 6 Unified Combatant Commands. The Northern Command is responsible for US and North America. The Southern Command is responsible for Central and South America. The European Command is in charge of Europe, including Greenland and Russia. The Africa Command is in charge of Africa. Central Command is tasked with the Middle East. Lastly, the Indo-Pacific Command is tasked with South Asia and India. According to Professor David Vine, as of 2020, the US has about 750 military bases in about 80 foreign countries and territories. However, due to secrecy and lack of transparency, it is difficult to determine the exact number, so the actual number could be higher than the estimated 750. In comparison, Russia has between 15 to 20 bases overseas, while China has about 11. The largest deployment is about 54,000 personnel in Japan. This began after the signing of the Japan-America Security Alliance Treaty in 1951. The Japanese government has requested the US forces to remain in Japan since then. US military bases in Japan served as important strategic and logistic bases for US military operations during the Korean War, and later the Vietnam War. In the present, US forces Japan is essential deterrence against communist aggression from North Korea, Russia, and China. The next largest deployment is about 34,000 personnel in Germany. US military presence remained in Germany after World War II and throughout the Cold War. The primary role of the US military presence in Germany is to deter Russia's invasion of Europe. US bases in Germany also serve as logistic hubs to support military operations in the Middle East during the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. The third largest deployment is about 26,500 troops in South Korea. All these global military bases is part of the US military strategy, known as power projection or force projection. This refers to the United States' ability to move troops and equipment to rapidly deploy and sustain forces anywhere in the world. However, this strategy do have some drawbacks. These overseas bases and troops cost an estimated $150 billion per year. Social problems caused by US military presence, such as crimes committed by US soldiers or displacement of local population, has also led to protests against US military presence in some countries. So, what do you think? Do you think US military presence bring peace and stability to the region? Or do you think US military presence cause more harm than good?